When our little girl was born, we got a Subaru. It's where she said her first word,
No.
saw her first day of school,
Bye-bye.
made a best friend forever.
Oh my.
The back seat of my Subaru is where she grew up.
What?
The 2015 Subaru Forester.
What?
Built to be there for your family. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
University Subaru.
The wise choice.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, April the 29th. We're almost done with the month of April, if you can believe that. Got Nick Foster with us, Voluntary Action Center. Good to have you here,
Paul.
Nick.
Thank you so much.
Now, as we're ending up April, you have something important coming up in May, right?
We've got May in mind because May 12 will be our Spring into Action event. It's going to happen at the University Club beginning at 5:30 that night. And it's an opportunity for many of our supporters and friends of VAC to gather to learn more about what we're doing and to be supportive of that because it is a major fundraiser for us.
Let's talk about what you do at VAC.
Okay, we can talk about it. Let me tell you a couple of stories real quick about that that just are really examples of the kind of thing we do. For instance, we had a gentleman that was in our office just a few weeks ago who came in. He was living at Reality House, which is a place where folks who are recently released from prison are able to stay. He came to us because he was wanting to apply for a job. Well, the only ID he had was his prison ID. So we were able to get him an ID. That cost about $11 to do that. And then he went out and applied. He got a job. He got a full-time job. And he came back to us and he said, "Can you help me because I need a uniform to start my job? I haven't been paid yet." And so we were able to do that. So with a little bit of help for an ID, with a little bit of help for a uniform, and he's in a much more stable situation.
And when you hear a story like that, you realize if it were not for an organization like VAC, Voluntary Action Center, the outcome could have been very different for this man who was just released from prison.
Well, I think that we certainly had something to say about that. But you also, a good thing about that story is that it points out the relationships we have with other agencies in our community. Reality House does a wonderful thing in providing a place where men can come and live and find their stability after they're released from prison. And we're able to provide a little bit of help along that way. So really, it's because of the work that we do together that we're able to help someone to the degree that we are. And that story is true over and over and over again. There are a lot of agencies in the community and organizations, churches and others who send people our way because they're not able to help with everything that needs to be done, but we can help in these little ways that make a difference.
I know that firsthand because I don't know how many times I have called Voluntary Action Center. Someone would call us and say, "I've got this problem. Where do I go?" And I say, "I know where you can get the information, where you need to go." That's right. And that's the Voluntary Action Center.
That's right. And in fact, you yourself have called to say, "Nick,
yeah,
I've got a problem. Where can I go to help this other person?" So I think that's one of the big things that we do for the community. We're just a really good place to start when somebody's trying to find their way.
I think of it as a clearinghouse for help.
That's right, and I think we are.
Okay, now if is there still time to go to your event?
Yeah, and I just want to say we're going to be telling more stories like the one I just shared with you. We're asking reservations to get in by May the 5th. People can just call our office for that, 874-2273. And I want real quickly to note that we're going to be providing awards this year for several in our community. Rem Massey, the retired pastor at Trinity Presbyterian Church, a longtime trustee of VAC, will receive the Hazel Reback Award. Kilgore's Medical Pharmacy, who is a great friend of VAC, sponsors us often and does great work in the community, will receive the Heart of VAC Award. And then Broadway Christian Church, which does so many wonderful things in the community and again works very closely with us, is going to receive the Outstanding Community Service Award. So we're very excited about that, about recognizing what they do.
Yeah. What's the phone number to call?
874-2273.
2273, and you have till what, May?
May 5 is when we're asking folks to get the reservations in.
All right. Nick Foster, Voluntary Action Center, please come back again.
I'll do it. Thank you, Paul.
Okay, now we're going to talk about nutrition. We have CASSIE McCLELLAN with us. Good to have you here, Cassie.
Thanks.
Central Missouri Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. And what's the good word for good nutrition during the summertime?
Well, I actually want to talk about herbs and spices because we actually have a new thing at Hy-Vee. We've got frozen herbs and spices, and it's the dietitian's pick of the month. So herbs and spices are a really good way to add flavor to our food without adding extra fat and salt.
That's what I was going to say. You can, and in the Mediterranean diet, a lot of times food is seasoned with herbs and spices instead of the salt. And that's why the people in the Mediterranean live longer and have a healthier lifestyle.
They have lower blood pressure, and also there's antioxidants in the herbs that help to decrease certain cancers and also heart disease and Alzheimer's disease. So that's another health benefit of the herbs.
So do you know off the top of your head some of the herbs that have the highest antioxidants?
Well, garlic is a really good one. It's got a lot of antioxidant content, and then also cinnamon is known as a super spice.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, cinnamon has a lot of health benefits. It's especially good for diabetics because it helps to control blood sugars. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I knew garlic did. Does it make any difference when you're having the garlic, whether it's cooked garlic or if it's raw garlic or if it's a garlic powder? Does that make a difference?
Usually cooked is better because it kind of brings out the nutrients more when you cook it. Some people think that cooking vegetables and herbs and spices is bad because it takes out the nutrients, but sometimes you need to cook things to actually release the nutrients.
That's true with tomatoes too, isn't it?
Right.
With tomatoes, the cooked tomatoes are actually better, a little bit better for you. Why is that?
That's because of the lycopene. The reason why tomatoes are so good is because of their lycopene content, and it's especially important for men because it helps to prevent prostate cancer. But if you cook the tomatoes, it actually has a higher concentration of lycopene.
So when you have tomato sauce, like spaghetti sauce, those tomatoes that you cook, that's actually better for you
than fresh.
But the fresh tomatoes are good for you too.
Right. It's all good for you, but if you're buying the canned tomato products, you want to get the kind that says no salt added.
Why
because
is that?
The regular kind has a lot of sodium in it because of the salt they add to it. So if you get the no salt added kind, it's only about 20 milligrams for a quarter cup of tomato sauce.
Okay, but you're still getting the nutrients.
Right, you're still getting the health benefits, but you don't want all that extra salt, all that extra sodium.
Okay,
so if you get
want to get the ones with no salt added. And if you're growing the tomatoes in your garden, if you're making your sauce yourself, know that you're really helping yourself by cooking those just a little bit.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a lot, does it?
Right, just a little bit helps.
Okay. What are some of the other herbs that you know that are good for you?
Let's see. Cilantro is a really good one. It has a lot of antioxidants, and it's good to add to Mexican foods and also shrimp and different types of fish. Is usually good with it.
And you don't need a whole lot either, do you, to get the benefit?
Right.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
And cinnamon. I'm glad to know because I like cinnamon on applesauce and on oatmeal. Okay. People want more information. We're out of time. Where do they go?
Well, I work at Hy-Vee, so any of the Hy-Vees, you can talk to the dietitians.
Okay. Thank you so much, Cassie McClellan, Central Missouri Academy in Nutrition and Dietetics. Pleasure having you here. You're very good. Let's see. We're out of time. Our director, Travis McMillen, Reynolds Journalism Institute, Audio, Pat Akers, KBIA. Our floor director is Brendan McDermott, assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mouser. Bye-bye.